Hello and welcome to LiCAS.news Weekly Wrap. I am Basilio Sepe.
And I am Marielle, Lucenio, and these are our headlines this week.
Pope Francis condemns an attack on a French church this week.
Pope Francis named the first cardinal of Brunei Darussalam.
A new Filipino cardinal said protecting human rights is key to the mission of the church.
Malaysia's first cardinal, Anthony Soter Fernandez, died at 88.
In Korea, an Irish Catholic literary scholar died this week.
Another sad news, an archbishop of Myanmar who mentored the country's clergy passed away.
In the Philippines, church leaders said there is no need to go to cemeteries to pray for their departed loved ones.
Pope Francis this week invited the faithful to persevere in prayer. And now to our stories.
Pope Francis condemned the attack at a church in Nice, France this week that killed 3 people and wounded several others. A statement from the Vatican said that even as the Pope condemned the act of terror, he also assured the Catholic community and the people of France of his closeness. A separate statement released by the Holy See Press Office said the Pope is praying for all those affected by the attack and for unity so that people will respond to evil with good. The Vatican statement said the attack is a moment of pain in a time of confusion. It added that terrorism and violence can never be accepted. An attacker who was armed with a knife entered the Basilica of Notre Dame de Nice at about 9 o'clock in the morning on October 29, killing at least 3 people.
Pope Francis has named Bishop Cornelius Sim of the Apostolic Vicariate of Brunei Darussalam the first Catholic cardinal of one of the richest and smallest countries in the world. Bishop Sim is among the 13 new cardinals and one of the 2 from Asia who will be elevated to the post in the Catholic Church on November 28. The Apostolic Vicariate of Brunei Darussalam is part of the Bishops' Conference of Malaysia, Singapore, and Brunei. Bishop Sim, who heads the Apostolic Vicariate of 21,000 Catholics and has 4 priests and 3 parish churches, will also become the first cardinal from the island of Borneo. Considered one of the youngest and smallest dioceses in Southeast Asia, the Apostolic Vicariate of Brunei is a steadily thriving church with growing spiritual activities in the communities.
Filipino Cardinal Designate Jose Advincula of Capiz said, protecting human rights is not optional for the Catholic Church. He said the Church has to see to it that the human dignity and the human rights of the people are always respected, adding that everyone are called to commit to alleviate poverty. He said poverty is one of the reasons why we have social problems. The 68-year-old Filipino Archbishop is among 13 new cardinals from all over the world named by Pope Francis on Sunday, October 25. Their appointment will be formalized at a consistory in the Vatican on November 28.
Malaysia's first Catholic Cardinal Anthony Soter Fernandez died on Wednesday, October 28 at the age of 88. The retired prelate was earlier diagnosed with cancer and had undergone several medical procedures since November. Cardinal Charles Mongbo, president of the Federation of Asian Bishops' Conferences, said that the death of Cardinal Fernandez is being mourned by thousands who remember the late prelate for being a considerate and compassionate pastor. Cardinal Fernandez was known to be one of the architects of the 1976 pastoral renewal of the local church in Malaysia, which identified the need for Christ-centered communities. He always stressed that a church must pay more attention to the local language and culture if it is to remain faithful to the post-Vatican Council II idea of enculturation.
Irish Catholic priest Kevin Lawrence O'Rourke, Korea's first foreign literary scholar who translated more than 2,000 Korean literary works into English, was laid to rest on October 26. His funeral was held at the Missionary Society of St. Columban in Seoul. Father O'Rourke died on October 23 in Seoul at the age of 81. Born in Cavan, Ireland in 1939, he was ordained priest in 1963. He came to South Korea the following year where he served as assistant pastor. Father O'Rourke would go on to teach at Kyung-hee University from 1977 to 2005. He was the first foreigner to receive a doctorate in Korean literature from Yonsei University in 1982.
Archbishop Paul Zingtongrong of Myanmar, considered by many members of its Catholic clergy in the country as a mentor, died on October 24. He was 81. Cardinal Charles Mongbo of Yangon described Archbishop Paul as a great son of Kachin, a great son of Myanmar, a great son and beloved son of Mother Church. The Cardinal said that the late prelate was a great gift of God to Kachin, Catholics, and Myanmar. At a young age, Bishop Paul became the first prelate of the Kachin Church, where he, for 5 decades, has shared his wisdom, his intelligence, and his inspiring example. Cardinal Bo said that the Archbishop's quiet but firm qualities helped in building the Church of Myanmar.
Meanwhile, there is no need for the Catholic faithful to go to the cemeteries to pray and show their respect for their departed loved ones on All Souls Day and All Saints Day. Bishop Broderick Pabilio of Manila said that although it is a good and a holy thought to pray for the dead in cemeteries, sharing stories and the memories of the beloved departed at home can bind the living closer to each other. The country's church leaders urged everyone to go to church and offer Mass for the beloved dead if they could not visit the cemeteries because of quarantine restrictions. Every year, cemeteries in the Philippines would look like party places as people visit the tombs of their departed loved ones on November 1 and 2. This year, however, the government decided to close cemeteries across the country to prevent the possible spread of the new coronavirus disease.
During his general audience this week, Pope Francis invited the faithful to persevere in prayer, especially during the most difficult moments of their lives. If it seems to us that life has been completely useless, we must at that moment beg that Jesus' prayer also become our own, said the Pontiff. The Pope said Jesus gave his own prayer, which is his own loving dialogue with the Father. Pope Francis reminded the faithful to persist in prayer despite feeling sluggish as Jesus prays with us. The Pope's address during the weekly general audience was a continuation of the catechesis on the theme of prayer. The Pontiff also apologized to those who attended the general audience for him staying away from the crowd. He said he wanted to avoid causing a crowd, which is against health measures imposed by the authorities. Cases of the new coronavirus spiked in several European countries, including Italy, this week. That's all for this week. I am Marielle Lucenio.
And I am Basilio Sepe for LiCAS.news, your independent Catholic news source in Asia.
For more stories, check and subscribe to our YouTube channel.